Over the course of this podcast existence, I've spoken with 83 different people across over 90 episodes, and there are only two things you need to understand to actually captivate somebody. Those two things are experience and charisma. You have to live a life, and then you have to know how to tell the story. It's a pretty simple equation. Experience plus charisma equals ability to captivate. These values work the same as grades in school. The lower your score or your grade, the easier it is to increase. So understand where you're at in terms of lived experience and charismatic ability. Consider two of our most successful episodes: Ibrahim Awal for his charisma and Jet Alexander for his experience. Ibrahim's superpower is that he is able to turn the mundane into jaw-dropping entertainment. Think of the most boring story you could tell. Opening the door to guests. How could greeting guests at the front door possibly be interesting to listen to?
To be honest with you, I come from an Islamic household, right? So my mom, she covers up. She makes sure no one can see her. Like, she covers up such, even when you open the door, she goes behind the door.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so no one can see her because her beauty is for my dad, you know?
Got it.
No one's going to see my mom, fam. My dad's going to see my mom. That's it. My brother's wife, actually. I barely talk to her, you know? Because we're men. It doesn't even matter if you're my brother's wife. I still got my urges, you know?
Got it.
She's not an ugly woman.
Yeah.
You know
Just out of respect?
Out of respect, also Islamically, you're not allowed to.
Got it.
A lot of Muslims who haven't really learned their religion and whatever, they may come at me for saying that, but just read, man. Just read up. You'll figure it out what God wants from you. And that's it, you know?
So charisma can get you far. Develop a sense of humor, learn how to tell a story, proper intonation. It'll take you a long way. Jet Alexander's story is one of my personal favorites from any of them that we've had on the podcast. On April 8th, 2023, Jet signed a one-day contract with the Toronto Maple Leafs to serve as the team's backup goalie in a game against the Montreal Canadiens where they beat the Canadiens 7-1. I am a huge hockey fan, so I was thrilled to record this episode. He spent an entire day with the Maple Leafs roster. Obviously, I'm going to have questions. He had my attention before he even walked in the room. His delivery was not as bombastic as Ibrahim's because it didn't need to be. He was very mild-mannered and reserved, but when he spoke, I listened because I was trying to see what life looked like through his eyes in those moments. Why do you think Donald Trump was the most influential person of 2024? Times Person of the Year. Why did his interviews outpace Kamala's interviews by millions and millions of views? Because love him or hate him, that guy is a 10 on charisma and a 10 on lived experience. He used to be an entertainer. 12 years on The Apprentice, one of the top shows of the time. He knew how to make people feel things. He can make you laugh, he can make you cry, he can make you feel empowered, he can make you angry. As for lived experience, his is obviously unmatched. Grew a real estate empire and became the king of New York. Ran one of the top TV shows of the 2000s. Won a presidential election. Lost a presidential election. Survived assassination twice. He's done it all. So you might not be a 10 in 10 right now, but I promise you there will come a day you're able to crank those scores as high as you possibly can, that you walk into a room and people are waiting to hear what you have to say.